Good afternoon to all. I am Maylene Aduca and I will be the first reporter in this topic: business strategy, differentiation, cost leadership, and integration. PNG's strategic position weakens. So, what is all about PNG? Revenues of $85 billion and business in over 180 countries. Procter and Gamble, or P&G, is a global leader in consumer goods. Some of its category-defining brands include Ivory Soap, Tide Detergent, Crest Toothpaste, Lamb's Pet Food, and Pampers Diapers. Among its many offerings, P&G has 22 consumer brands in its lineup that each achieve over $1 billion in annual sales. P&G's iconic brands are a result of clearly formulated and effectively implemented business strategy. So in this case, the company pursues a differentiation strategy and attempts to create higher perceived value for its customer than its competitors by delivering products with unique features and attributes. So the next one, in the summer of 2009, after 30 years with P&G, Robert McDonald was appointed CEO. Since then, P&G's strategic position has weakened considerably and profit has declined for 3 straight years. P&G also lost market share in key product country combinations, including beauty in the US and oral care in China. So what happened? Some of today's problems are the result of P&G's $57 billion acquisition of Gillette in 2005. Engineered by then CEO A.G. Lafley, although Gillette holds two-thirds market share of the $15 billion shaving industry, future incremental revenue growth or the entire company is now harder to achieve given P&G's larger base. Perhaps even more troubling is that Mr. Lafley focused P&G mainly on the US market. Rather than inventing new product categories, P&G added more features to its existing brands such as Olay's Extra Moisturizing Creams and Ultra Soft and Sensitive Charmin Toilet Paper. The strategic decision to focus on the domestic market and to incrementally add more features to its existing products created two serious problems for P&G. So, the factor causing P&G's business strategy is to lose its luster. So, why P&G's differentiation strategy no longer as potent as it once was? So first, with a deep recession of 2008 to 2009, US consumers moved away from higher priced brands, such as those offered by P&G, to lower cost private label alternatives. Moreover, P&G's direct rivals in branded goods such as Colgate Palmolive, Kimberly-Clark, and Unilever were faster in cutting costs and prices in response to more frugal customers. P&G also fumbled recent launches of reformulated products such as Tide Pads or detergent sealed in single-use pouches, and the Pantene line of shampoos and conditioners. The decline in US demand hit P&G especially hard because the domestic market delivers about one-third of sales but almost two-thirds of profits. Second, by focusing on the US market, P&G not only missed out on the booming growth years that the emerging economies experienced, but it also left these markets to its rivals. As a consequence, Colgate, Palmolive, Kimberly-Clark, and Unilever all outperformed P&G in recent years. So company pursues a different strategy and attempts to create higher perceived value, just like what I have said a while ago, for its customers than its competitors, by delivering products with unique features and attributes. But as a consequence, Colgate Palmolive, Kimberly-Clark, and Unilever all outperform P&G in recent years. So the next one, two strategic initiatives launched by Mr. McDonald. To strengthen it to strengthen its competitive position, Mr. McDonald launched two strategic initiatives. First, P&G began to refocus its portfolio on the company's 40 most lucrative product market combinations, which are responsible for about half of P&G's revenues but almost 70% of its profits. Part of this initiative was to expand P&G's presence in large, emerging economies. This part will give detailed reasons for the failure in strategic development of P&G. Theoretically, a firm is considered to get competitive advantage to its competitors whenever it gets higher economic value created. So the second is P&G implemented strict cost-cutting measures through eliminating all spending not directly related to selling. It also planned to shed 4,000 jobs among other cost reduction moves. The hope was that these two initiatives will strengthen P&G's strategic position by improving its differentiated appeal to command premium prices while lowering its cost structure. But the company but the company board as of directors brought back A.G. Lafley as CEO to replace Mr. McDonald, and it remains to be seen if Mr. Lafley can turn around P&G, because some of the strategic decisions that led to a weakening of P&G's strategic position were made under his watch. So the next one is the P&G chapter case raises a number of issues that we will address in this chapter. So P&G differentiates itself from competitors by offering brand consumer product goods with distinct features and attributes. This strategy implies that P&G focuses on increasing the perceived value created for customers, which allows it to charge a premium price. This approach proved successful especially in rich countries such as the United States. So to reduce pressures on profit margins, however, P&G must also control its cost structure, which is higher than of its competitors. To address this problem, the company implemented strict cost reduction measures. So the next one, business level strategy details the goal-directed actions managers take in their gas for competitive advantage when competing in a single product market. So in business, you need to examine how firms compete in a given industry. So in this slide, to formulate an appropriate business level strategy, managers must answer who, what, why, and how questions of competition. So the first, who, which customer segments will we serve? Next, what customer needs, wishes, and desires will we satisfy? Why? Why do we want to satisfy them? And how? How will we satisfy our customers' needs? So each questions of competition helps us to address what appropriate business level strategy we need to implement. So a firm's business level strategy determines its strategic positions, its strategic profile based on value creation and cost in a specific product market. To achieve a desired strategic positions, manager must take strategic trade-offs, choices between a cost or value position. A business strategy is more likely to lead to a competitive advantage if it allows firms to either perform similar activities differently or perform different activities than their rivals, that result in creating more value or offering similar products or service at lower costs. So for example, if you are mapping the soft drinks industry, you could see how Gatorade's well positioned as a product in a higher perceived value. That's what strategic position means. A high perceived value in the sports drink segment, while Powerade is positioned as a lower price solution within the same market. So commonly, businesses can base their positioning based on product characteristics, on price, and they also base on the quality, especially on the competition. And the next one is the generic business strategies. So there are two fundamentally different generic business strategies: the differentiation and the cost leadership. A differentiation strategy seeks to create higher value for customers than the value that competitors create by delivering products or services with unique features while keeping costs at the same or similar levels. When we say differentiation strategy, it is a way to stand out from the noise and give people a reason to choose your business or your products over others. So, in creating a unique service or product in differentiation strategy, either either you create good branding or strong internal skills. On the other hand, a cost leadership strategy, in contrast, seeks to create the same or similar value for customers by delivering products or services at a lower cost than competitors, enabling the firm to offer lower prices to its customers. So it is all about achieving scale economies and utilizing them to products. So it is the one this is the one example of the differentiation strategy and the leadership strategy to your better understanding. For example, the Rolex and the Timex. Rolex and Timex both compete in the market for wristwatches, yet they follow different business strategies. Rolex follows a differentiation strategy and it creates a higher value for its watches by making higher quality timepieces with unique features that last a lifetime and that best owe a perception of prestige and status upon their owners. Customers are willing to pay a steep premium for these attributes. Timex, in contrast, follows a cost leadership strategy. It uses lower cost inputs and efficiently produces a wristwatch of acceptable quality, highlights reliability and accuracy, and prices its timepieces at the low end of the market. So uh, the issue is not to compare Rolex and Timex directly. They compete in different market segments of the wristwatch industry. Both can achieve a competitive advantage using diametrically opposed process strategies. This is because both have a clear strategic profile. Rather, the idea is to compare Rolex's strategic position with the next best differentiation, like Ebel, and Timex strategic position with the next best lower cost producer, like the Swatch. Just like that. Next. So this is the Exhibit 6.2, Strategic Position and Competitive Scope. Generic Business Strategies. So competitive scope, in the right side, there is a differentiation and this one is a focus differentiation. And the left side is a cost leadership, focus cost leadership. And there is a narrow and broad indicated. In below, it also showed the strategic position in the narrow and broad. As shown in Exhibit 6.2, by doing so we get two major generics or broad business strategy or cost leadership and differentiation. Show us the top two boxes in the matrix and what are termed the focuses version of each, shown as the bottom two boxes in the matrix. The focus versions of the strategies leader focus on cost leadership strategy and focus differentiation. Strategy are essentially the same as the broad generic strategies except that the competitive scope is narrower. When considering different business strategies, managers also must define the scope of competition, whether to pursue a specific narrow part of the market or go after the broader market. In the preceding example, Rolex focuses on a small market segment, affluent consumers who want to present a certain image. So Timex offers watches for many different segments of the mass market. Now we can combine the dimensions describing a firm's strategic position or the differentiation versus cost with the scope of competition, the narrow versus the broad.
Hello everyone, my name is Grace Angeles and I'm the reporter of Differentiation Strategy Understanding Value Drivers. The goal of a generic differentiation strategy is to add unique features that will increase the perceived value of goods and services in the minds of the consumer so they are willing to pay a higher price. Ideally, a firm following a differentiation strategy aims to achieve in the minds of consumers a level of value creation that its competitor cannot easily match. So first, what is differentiation strategy? It is the approach businesses use to attract and keep customers by giving them a unique product or service. So, the main goal of this strategy is to attain a competitive advantage like doing a SWOT analysis, which is the strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. In businesses is to analyze and understand their customer. In my topic, differentiators strategy is the in the understanding value drivers is focuses in competition on distinctive product, features, and services. Also in the new product launches as well as marketing and promotion. Rather than pricing. So, a value drivers is an activity or capability that adds worth to a product, service, or brand. More specifically, a value drivers refers to those activity or capabilities that add profitability, reduce risk, and promote growth accordance with strategic goals. So, for example, the carpet company Interface is a leader in sustainability and offers innovative products such as its cool carpet. The world's first carbon neutral fur covering, Interface's customer reward it with a willingness to pay a higher price for its environmental friendly product. So, a company that uses a differentiation strategy can achieve a competitive advantage as long as its economic value created is greater than that of its competitor. So, in the next slide, there's a picture. Ayan. So, as you can see in the pictures, there's a panel A in the left side and panel B in the right side. First, let me discuss the panel A, firm A and firm B. A differentiator achieves a competitive advantage over firm A in panel A of exhibit 6.3, which is this picture. So firm B not only offers a greater value than firm A but also achieves cost parity, meaning it has the same cost as firm A. As you can see in the left side, there's a word cost. So firm B, on the other hand, can gain a competitive advantage even if it fails to achieve cost parity. Its ability to create economic value outperform that of its competitors. So this situation is this situation is depicted in panel B in the picture. In both situations, firm B economic value creation is greater than that of firm A. So therefore, achieves a competitive advantage because it has higher value gap, which allows it to change a premium price reflecting its higher value creation. So I'm done discussing about the panel and the panel A and the panel B. So next slide is oh my gosh, can't read. Although a differentiation strategy is generally associated with premium pricing, managers have an important second pricing option. When a firm is able to offer a differentiated product or service and can control its costs at the same time, it is able to gain market share from other firms by charging a similar price but offering more perceived value. By leveraging its differentiated appeal of superior customer service and quality. So, for example, Marriott offers a line of different hotels. Its flagship Marriott full-service business hotel equipped to host large conferences, residence in for extended stay, Marriott Courtyard for business travelers, and Marriott Fairfield Inn for inexpensive leisure and family travel. Although these prices of these hotels are fairly equivalent to those of competitors, they have a greater perceived value. Marriott is able to acquire market share and achieve superior results because of the price value gap. So next, managers can adjust a number of different levers to improve a firm's strategic position. These levers either increase perceived value or decrease cost. Here we will study the most salient value drivers that managers have at their disposal. So, this value driver have to do with a company knowledge of and structures of various internal value chain activities. Although these are the most essential value driver, there is no way to make a comprehensive list. So managers should be able to discover other relevant value and cost drivers unique to their organization by applying the concept presented in this report. So they are the product features, customer service, and complements. So first is the product features. So product features. One of the obvious but most important levers that managers can adjust are adjust are the product features that attributes, thereby increasing the perceived value of the product or service offering. So, firms can turn commodity product into premium ones by utilizing distinctive product attributes, products that are unique and command a higher price. Superior conduct characteristic frequently necessitate strong R&D capabilities. So, as you can see in the picture, there's a car and the logo BM3. BM3 or BMW. It is a luxury automobile manufacturers employs a differentiation strategy. It has a great reputation for exceptional engineering which has been created through many years of ongoing R&D expenditures. As a result of BMW M3, a sport coupe has far performance features than a standard sedan, and M3S. The strong performance characteristic come at a premium price, and OXO is also a leader in the kitchen utensil sector, a product differentiation strategy that emphasizes product features. BOXO sets itself apart from the competition with its patent-protected, ergonomically designed cooking tools, which adhere to its concept of developing items that are comfortable to use for the greatest range of con- conceivable customers. So, the next one is the customer service. So, managers can increase the perceived value of their firm's product or services offerings by focusing on customer service and responsiveness. So, customer service is the support you offer your customer both before and after they they use your product or services that helps them have an easy and enjoyable experience with you. Offering amazing customer service is important so if you want to retain customer and grow your businesses. For example, Zappos, Zappos, this is the logo, Zappos.com. Zappos built a reputation for excellent customer service by providing free shipping in both direction to the consumer and for returns. The Zappos executive did not see this as an extra cost, but rather as part of their marketing budget. Furthermore, the Zappos does not outsource customer care, and its employees do not follow pre-written scripts. Instead, they are urged to develop a trusting relationship with each individual customer as word traveled across the internet buying community. It appeared that there was a solid return on investment. So competitors took notice too, and Amazon made a purchase over a 1 billion was paid for Zappos. Next is the another example is the hotel industry provides second example of superior customer service following its a mission. We are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. Ritz-Carlton has become one of the world leader in providing a personalized customer experience based on sophisticated analysis of data gathered about each guest, including past choices. It's offer personalized customer service that few chains can match. So this is the picture of the hotel, the Ritz-Carlton. I also insert. here in the complement. So next is the complement. So um, add value to a product or service when they are consumed in tandem. Finding complements, therefore, is an important task for managers in their quest to enhance the value of their offering. So, complements are products or services that enhance or enable an industry core offer. Complementers are the firm that provide them, and it became an increasingly central concern in the strategy literature. Despite the fact that strategic positioning entails higher expenses, for example, higher quality products. Customer will be prepared to pay a premium price for a product or service that meets their requirements and preference either through inputs or new research and developments operation. When talk about how managers come up with a cost leadership strategy in the next section. So, but before we proceed to the next reporter, I have a strategy highlight. So, this is my strategy highlight. Next slide. Trimming pot at Whole Foods Market. When four young entrepreneurs opened a small neutral food store in Austin, Texas in 1980, they never imagined it would one day turn into an international supermarket chain with stores in the United States, Canada, and United Kingdom. Some 30 years later, with the acquisition of a close competitor, Wild Oats, Whole Foods, now has 350 stores, employs more than 72,000 people, and earned 12 billion in revenue in 2012. Whole Foods differentiates itself from competitors by offering top quality foods obtained through sustainable agriculture. This strategy implies that Whole Foods focuses on increasing the perceived value created for customer, which allows it to charge a premium price in addition to natural and organic food. It also offers a wide variety of prepared foods and luxury food items such as $40 bottles of wine. Its purpose is to provide the highest quality natural and organic foods available, uphold the grocery industry highest quality standards, and remain committed to sustainable agriculture. So, Whole Foods had a competitive edge through the economic boom through thought early 2008 because of its unique strategic position as an upscale store offering natural, organic, and luxury food items. The company financial performance decreased as consumers became increasingly budget conscious during the recession of 2008 to 2009 because almost every retail chain now provides organic products. The level of competition has risen significantly. To revitalize Whole Foods, co-founder and co-CEO John Mackey decided to trim fat on two fronts. First is the supermarket chain refocuses on its mission to offer wholesome and healthy food options. In Mackey words, Whole Foods offering had included a bunch of junk including candy. Second, Whole Foods will trim fat by reducing costs. For example, it has expanded its private label product line by 5% and now includes over 2,300 products at lower prices. Moreover, to attract more customers who buy groceries for an entire family or group, Whole Foods now offer volume discount to compete with Costco and Sam's Club, the two largest membership chains in the US. The Whole Foods is to become the champion of healthy living not only by offering natural and organic food choices, but also by and educating the customers with healthy eating initiative. The so the strategies in place to boost Whole Foods' strategic profile by clarifying its value proposition and, perhaps more importantly, lowering its costs appears to be paying off. In comparison to old line grocery stores like Roger, Safeway, and even Walmart, the largest food retailer in the United States, Whole Foods is presently performing better than ever. Whole Foods may increase the value gap by strengthening its distinctive appeal to command premium prices, while keeping its cost structure in check with a more clearly defined business strategy. So, the next reporter is Irish Bernadas. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Irish Bernadas and I will be reporting cost leadership strategy, understanding cost drivers. In business strategy, cost leadership is establishing a competitive advantage by having the lowest cost of operation in the industry. Cost leadership is often driven by company efficiency, size, scale, scope, and cumulative experience. It is also a business level strategy employed by companies who wish to gain a competitive advantage by being the lowest cost producer of a service, production process, or commodity. Michael Porter, an economic he is an economic theorist and strategic management expert, coined cost leadership as one of three competitive strategies, the other two being differentiation strategy and focus strategy. To make it more simpler to understand, cost leadership emphasizes producing standardized products at a very low per unit cost for consumers who are price sensitive. There are two types of cost leadership strategies. A. A low cost strategy offers products to a wide range of customers at lowest price available on the market. Letter B. A best value strategy offers products to a wide range of customers at the best price to value available on the market. There are three competitive strategies of cost leaders. 1. Creating economies of scale. An economy of scale in business strategy focuses on reaping the cost advantages of mass production. In microeconomics, the underpinning is that production comes with fixed costs such as real estate, machinery, employee salaries, raw material costs, and taxes. These costs make it expensive to produce the initial units of merchandise, but when a business increases its scale of production, the unit cost of each item decreases. The business fixed cost remains the same but the output increases. Second, developing advanced technology. Cost leaders can invest in the development of new technology that will increase efficiency and lower operating costs, enabling them to increase production and lower prices. Last, sourcing raw materials. Most suppliers of raw materials mark up prices to make a profit. By having ownership or control over the source of raw materials, a company can potentially reduce the overall cost of production and add value to the product in the process. This is known as value chain control. There are three advantages of using cost leadership strategy. First, a loss a low cost enable enable low prices. Cost leaders focus on their attention on increasing the efficiency of production processes to lower production costs. Low costs allow them to lower prices while still making a profit. Second, cost leaders are more able to withstand price wars. Cost leaders are sufficiently equipped to reduce their costs, which can deter competition. Price competitors are less likely to want to directly compete with cost leaders if they cannot guarantee they're going to win. Third, cost leaders may enjoy increased market share. A large market share of consumers are price sensitive and gravitate toward the companies offering the lowest price goods. This means that the company with the lowest price is likely to sell the most units. The more units a company sells, the more its market share increases. In turn, when the market share of a company rises, the unit cost decreases, potentially fueling even greater profits. If there is advantage, there is also disadvantage of using cost leadership strategy. First, the cost leadership approach can be risky. Cost leaders must constantly innovate new ways to reduce costs. As soon as a many company discovers an effective method of cost reduction, competitors are likely to copy the method. Cost leaders must be able to sustain consistent cost reduction or they could face significant losses. Second, it may be difficult to maintain perception of quality. Maintaining the perception of quality becomes difficult when your marketing strategy hinges on offering the cheapest products possible. Cost leaders have to find a way to maintain a positive image and encourage brand loyalty while offering cheap goods and services. Third, cost leaders are dependent on a high volume of sales. Cost leaders inevitably operate with thin profit margins. This means they have to maintain a high volume of sales to be successful. And last, cost leadership may be able to adapt to market changes. When your business level strategy is centered around cost reduction, it can be challenging to keep up with customer trends and tastes. Cost leaders may be committed to developing advanced technologies in order to reduce production costs, only to find that consumer tastes have shifted, rendering the technology obsolete. Example of cost leader McDonald's. Of course, there can't be a list of cost leadership example without the most famous brand in the fast food industry. But how can but how does the company achieve its competitive advantage? Let's take a look. Rapid delivery of food. McDonald's has optimized the process of cooking food, making them simple and easy to learn by all employees, reducing the learning curve as much as possible. Training. Additionally, the company has a division of labor that allows them to recruit and train freshers as opposed to hiring already trained cooks, which allows them to pay low wages. Vertical integration. Compared to competitors, McDonald's owns the facilities that produce the mixtures for their products, further minimizing its cost. It is ex- it's been it has been extremely successful with this strategy by offering basic fast food meals at low prices. They are able to keep prices low through a division of labor that allows it to hire and train inexperienced employees rather than trained cooks. These are the other examples of using low cost strategy. IKEA. IKEA is the cost leader in the furniture industry. IKEA has successfully combined low cost with good quality and its democratic designs that balance function, quality, design, and price, giving IKEA is a competitive edge. Payless Users Payless Users is a discount retailer that sells inexpensive shoes for men, women, and children. Their advertising slogans such as "Why pay more when you can pay less?" and "You can pay more, but why?" consistently preach a low price message. Supercut's website makes clear their long-standing cost leadership strategy by noting, a supercut is a haircut that has kept people looking their best while keeping money in their pockets since 1975. And last, the 7-Eleven coffee. To attract price-sensitive customer away from competitors, 7-Eleven stores offer $1 coffee or iced coffee, sometimes on specific weekdays. Adding a chocolate bar or lottery ticket would increase the total bill and make up for any loss on coffee prices.
Hello everyone. So the next is the business level strategy and the five forces, its benefits and risks. So in this part, I will discuss the benefits and risks of business level strategy, which is the cost leadership and differentiation together with the five forces model. So the business level strategies introduced in this chapter allows firms to carve out strong strategic positions that enhance the likelihood of gaining and sustaining competitive advantage. So the five forces model introduced in chapter 3 helps managers to assess the forces. So the five forces is the threat of entry, power of suppliers, power of buyers, threat of substitutes, and rivalry among the existing competitors that make some industry more attractive than others. With uh, a cost leadership strategy, benefits and risk. A cost leadership strategy is defined by obtaining the lowest cost position in the industry while offering acceptable values. If a price war ensues, the low cost leader will be the last firm standing. All other firms will be driven out as margin evaporates. With this, we will know that the with the understanding of industry dynamics, managers use one of these ways of business level strategy to protect the businesses against the force that may drive down their profitability. Although a cost leadership strategy provides some protection against the five forces, it also carries some risks. If a new entrant with new relevant expertise enters the market, the low-cost leader's margins may erode due to loss in the market share while it attempts to learn new capabilities. So the cost leadership, as discussed a while ago, is defined by obtaining the lowest cost position in the industry while giving an acceptable value for a certain product or services, so that if a price war happens, the low-cost leader will the last firm standing because most of the customers prefer the low-cost item among the others because it's just the same as the quality of the others. That's why low-cost leadership can really help a lot. So next is the figure. The figure shows the cost leadership, the benefits and risk of the competitive forces. So in this figure, it shows the benefits and risks of competitive force on the cost leadership. First, I will define the five competitive forces that are shaping a marketplace. Threats of new entrants or the threat of entry. It puts a limit on how profitable that market can be. Next is the power of supplies. It is determined by how easy it is for them to raise their prices. The fewer suppliers there are, the more unique their products or services. The power of buyers, this is the powerful enough to force you to reduce your prices. Profits will be lower across the industry. Next is the threats of substitutes, how easy it to swap your product for an alternative. Then lastly is the rivalry among existing competitors. If rivalry is intense, it will drive down profits. Intensely of competition happens is driven by the number of competitors within the industry and how similar their products are. So in this figure, it shows the competitive force. Threat of entry, the benefits of it is the protection against entry due to economies of sales, and risk is erosion of margins, which is the meaning of it is erosions of margin is to define loss of margins dollars that occur once a job has been won. More simply, it is a gradual reduction in gross profit over time. Then the other risk is replacement. Next is power of suppliers, protection against increase in input prices which can be absorbed, erosion margin, power of buyers, again protection against decrease in sales price which can be absorbed, erosion of margins. Threat of substitutes, protection against substitute products through further lowering of prices. And the risk is replacement, especially when faced with innovation. And last is rivalry among existing competitors. Protection against price wars because lowest cost firm will win. And risk is focus of competition shifts to non-price attributes and lowering costs to drive value creation below the acceptable threshold. So next is differentiation strategy and benefits and risk. A differentiation strategy is defined by establishing a strategic position that creates higher perceived value while controlling cost. It says here that the value of product can be pricey but the quality is improved. For instance, a company may differentiate their candy by improving the taste and use healthier ingredients, but use it in a control cost. A successful differentiation strategy is likely to be based on unique or specialized features of the product, on an effective marketing campaign, or on intangible resources such as a reputation for innovation, quality, and customer service. So, risk is the viability of a differentiation strategy is severely undermined when the focus of competition shifts to price rather than the value creating features. This can be happen when differentiated products become commoditized. So become commoditized meaning is the process of which a product is essentially deemed identical to the same class of offering but present, presented by a rival company, and an acceptable standard of quality has emerged across the rival firms. So next is the figure on differentiation, the benefits and its risk. So in the threat of entry, the benefits of it is protection against entry due to intangible resources such as the reputation for innovation, quality, and customer service. Then the risk is erosion of margins and replacement, the power of suppliers, protection against increase in input prices which can be passed on to customers, erosion of margins, power of buyers, protection against decrease in sales price because well-differentiated products or services are not perfect limitations. Then the risk is erosion margins. Then next is the threat of substitutes. The benefits of it is protection against substitute products due to differential appeal, and risk is replacement, especially when the face of innovation. And lastly is the rivalry among existing competitors. The benefits of it is protection against competitor if product or service has been enough differential appeal to command premium price. And the risks are focus of competition shift to price, increasing differentiation of product features that do not create value but raise cost, increasing in differentiation to raise cost above acceptable threshold, and the figure here shows the details of the relationship between competitive positioning and the five forces. In particular, it highlights the benefits and risks of cost leadership and differentiation strategies. It is important to note that none of the business level strategies depicted in cost leadership, differentiation, and focus variation is inherently superior, meaning there is none of those business level strategy is superior among the others because all of the businesses has are different from each other. The success of each is context dependent and relies on two factors: how well the strategy leverages the firm's internal strengths while mitigating its weaknesses, and next is how well it helps the firm exploit external opportunities while avoiding the external threats. And there is no single correct generic strategy for a specific strategy because each and every businesses will encounter different problems and situations. So the deciding factor is that the chosen business strategy provides a strong position that attempts to maximize the economic value creation and effectively implemented. That's all my part. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Our next topic is about integration strategy, combining cost leadership and differentiation. But before we move on to our next discussion, in the previous topic, we found out the characteristics, benefits, and risks of cost leadership and differentiation. So as we go on to this topic, we will focus on the integration of these two strategies and let us know if it's possible for the company to successfully implement this. So let's start. The competitive condition in an industry may require firms to develop skills in lowering costs as well as adding uniqueness, particularly in globalized industries. For example, success may require lowering costs in order to compete with firms in countries with lower labor costs and may require adding special features to respond to local customers' preferences in individual country markets. To accomplish this, the company needs to integrate these two strategic positions so that it will possibly increase the competitive advantage. Because in real life, if an enterprise can do both effective difference and can also maintain a low price, then it is possible to become a market leader. Next is integration strategy. First, what is the meaning of integration strategy? Integration strategy is called as management control strategy, a process that businesses can use to enhance their competitiveness, efficiency, or market share by expanding their influence into new areas. These areas can include supply, distribution, or competition. This strategy is an important tool in building a competitive business because businesses can use various integration strategies to increase their influence in supply and distribution or lessen competition. This can help them consolidate and expand their place in the market and increase their competitiveness. There are two types of integration strategies, and these are the vertical strategy and horizontal strategy. So what is vertical strategies? It occurs when a company gains control over the production or distribution processes of its product. This allows the company to expand its power in the market by lowering its costs and increasing the reach of its product. The company can pursue this strategy using these three primary ways, and these are the backward integration, forward integration, and balance integration. When we say backward integration, an integration occurs when a business gains control over its product supply chain by integrating with its suppliers or by producing intermediate goods for itself. and the forward integration, it gains control over the distribution of its finished product, while the balanced integration gains the advantages of both backward and forward strategies. If it does, it can pursue balanced integration. So the next type of integration strategy is the horizontal strategy. It is another competitive strategies that business use to increase their power in the market. It involves gaining control over other businesses that provide similar products or services. This helps the business increase in size or expand into a new area or market. So let's go back to integration strategy. Integration strategy involves producing low-cost products with differentiated features. This strategy is about simultaneously focusing on two drivers of competitive advantage, cost and differentiation. This type of strategy is often called a hybrid strategy. But this is often difficult because the cost leadership and differentiation are distinct strategic positions that require the firm to effectively manage internal value chain that are fundamentally different from one another. For example, a cost leader would focus research and development on process technologies in order to improve efficiency, but a differentiator would focus research and development on product technologies in order to add uniqueness. So that means, when the company successfully combine these two products, the integration strategy will allow the firms to offer a differentiated product at low cost based on customers' needs and wants. So let's proceed to the illustration. In this illustration, shows how a successfully formulated integration strategy combines both a differentiation and low-cost position. Also, it shows the consequence of an integration strategy gone bad. The firm ends up being stuck in the middle, meaning the firm has neither a clear differentiation nor a clear cost leadership profile. It concludes that being successful at an integration strategy doesn't imply that the firm must be the highest value creator and the lowest cost producer in its respective industry. Because the goal of integration strategy is to achieve a larger economy value than the rivals of every company pursuing the differentiation and cost leadership. The second illustration. This is the comparison of three retail chains, Nordstrom, Target, and Walmart. Nordstrom as differentiator, Walmart as a cost leader, and Target is an integrator. The illustration focuses on how did Target able to effectively compete to Nordstrom in achieving most lower cost position while offering an acceptable shopping experience, and how it able to compete with Walmart by building equivalent skills in efficient logistic expertise. It clearly shows that Target achieved the highest economic value using the integration strategy, wherein it almost achieved the cost parity with Walmart. Also, Target creates significantly more value in the minds of customers than does Walmart with its no-frills approach. And to successfully implement the integration strategy, the firm should have two pricing options. First, the firm can charge a higher price than the cost leader, reflecting its higher value creation and thus generating greater profit margins. Second, the firm can lower its price below than the differentiator because of its lower cost structure. The firm must decide on pricing based on its cost structure because offering a lower price might get the loss margin through the increasing of sales. Next is value cost drivers of integration strategy. So what is the value driver and cost driver? Value driver are factors that increase the worth of a product, service, asset, or business. In the case of product, it could be a differentiating capability that makes the product a must-have for customers. Value drivers will make a company's product seem better than its competitors. by creating as many value drivers as possible. A company can boost its leverage on the marketplace. They will further influence consumers to purchase the product. While the cost driver, it triggers a change in the cost of an activity. The concept is most commonly used to assign overhead costs to the number of produced units. It can also be used in an activity-based costing analysis to determine the costs of overhead, which can be used to minimize overhead costs. It simplifies the allocation of manufacturing overhead. The correct allocation of manufacturing overhead is important to determine the true cost of a product. Internal management uses the cost of a product to determine the prices of the products they produce. Next is the 5 ways to overcome challenges in doing integration strategy. And these are the quality, economies of scope, customization, innovation, structure, culture, and routines. So first, the quality. The quality of a product denotes its durability and reliability. Quality not only can increase the product's perceived value, but also can lower its cost. Using different techniques like total quality management, the companies can build a better quality of product while increasing their differentiated appeal. Also, the thoughts of lowering price based on customers' perspective is very helpful because it can raise the value creation by increasing the value and lowering cost. Next is the economies of scope. The concept economies of scope describes the savings that come from producing 2 or more outputs at less cost than producing each output individually, even though using the same resources and technology. A wider variety of producing goods or services is more cost-effective for a firm than producing a good independently. It gives a cost advantage to a company when it makes a complementary range of product while focusing on its core competencies. Next is customization. Customization allows firms to go beyond merely adding differentiating features to tailoring products and services for specific customers. It is a new strategy to deal with changing customers' demands, which enables firms to enhance their interaction with customers. In this approach, both interactional and operational aspects must be flexible in order to allow products to be customized. The importance of it is it makes customers happier, and those happy customers are repeat customers who's been satisfied. Next is innovation. Innovation describes any new product and process or any modification of existing ones, and is frequently required to resolve existing trade-offs when companies pursue an integration strategy. It is very important to the company to have innovation in their goods because it generates the most customer value and create new things that will serve customers better than anyone else. The effort of the company's people need to be closely tied to achieving business strategy, achieving the vision of what the company can be. Also, in the process of discovering what customers are doing, innovators create new options to meet unarticulated needs. By generating new options, this process allows a company leaders to see new opportunities to grow that their existing strategy has not taken into considerations. New opportunities then lead to a new vision for a company can be. For example is the IKEA. IKEA orchestrates different internal value chain activities to reconcile the tension between differentiation and cost leadership in order to carve out a unique strategic position. IKEA have an innovation in their furniture design, engineering, and store design to solve the trade-offs between value creation and production costs. And based on their president, Josephine Rydberg Dumont, beautiful but expensive product is easy. Designing beautiful products that are inexpensive and functional is a huge challenge. That means IKEA company really work hard in terms or on innovating their products to achieve a good quality that the customers needed while maintaining the lowering cost of producing and reducing inventory costs. Overall, IKEA effectively pursued the integration strategy, the leveraging innovation to increase the perceived value of its products while simultaneously lowering its cost. And lastly, the structure, culture, and routines. A firm's structure, culture, and routines are critical when pursuing an integration strategy. The challenge that managers face is to structure their organization so that they both control costs and allow for creativity that can lay the basis for differentiation. Achieving a low-cost position requires an organizational structure that relies on strict budget controls, while differentiation requires an organizational structure that allows creativity and customer responsiveness to thrive, which typically necessitates looser organizational structures and controls. The next is integration strategy gone bad, stuck in the middle. Many firms that attempt to pursue an integration strategy fail because they end up being stuck in the middle. They succeed at neither a differentiation nor a cost leadership strategy. Because in the world of strategic trade-offs, increasing value and lowering costs have opposite effects. Improved product features, customer services, and customization all result in higher costs, while offering a no-frills product reduces perceived value. It happens quite often that a firm can't do both but must choose to be either a differentiator or a cost leader. For example, the JCPenney company ended up being stuck in the middle trying to combine two different strategic positions. The story begins with Mr. Johnson, the CEO of JCPenney, wherein he tried to change the company's strategic position from a cost leadership to an integration strategy. In particular, he tried to reposition the department store more toward the high end by providing an improved customer experience and more exclusive merchandise through in-store boutiques. Mr. Johnson ordered all clearance racks with steeply discounted merchandise common in JCPenney stores to be removed. He also did away with JCPenney's long-standing practice of mailing discount coupons to its customers. Rather than the following industry best practice by testing the more drastic changes to JCPenney's strategic positioning in a small number of selected stores, Mr. Johnson implemented them in all 1/8 stores at once. When one executive raised the issue of pre-testing, Mr. Johnson bristled and responded, "We didn't test at Apple." Under his leadership, JCPenney also got embroiled in a legal battle with Macy's because of Mr. Johnson's attempt to lure away homemaking maven Martha Stewart and her exclusive merchandise collection. The envisioned integration strategy failed badly, and JCPenney ended up being stuck in the middle within 12 months of having Mr. Johnson at the helm. JCPenney sales dropped by 25%. In an hyper-competitive industry such as retailing where every single percent of market share counts, this was a landslide. Less than 18 months into his new job, Mr. Johnson was fired and replaced by his predecessor, Myron Ullman. So in this example, it just illustrates the dangers of pursuing an integration plan owing to the complexity of the situation. The fundamental basic business strategies of cost leadership and differentiation have an inherent trade-off. Furthermore, it emphasizes the importance of but also the dangers of changing a company's culture too abruptly from a strategic position. As a result, the managers must be aware of the situation. That's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Almich Angel Panila and my report is all about the dynamic competitive positioning. First, what is competitive positioning? Competitive positioning is a competitive strategy of a firm evolves out of consideration of several factors that are external to it. The external environment affects the internal environment of the firm. The economic and technical components of the external environment are considered as a major factors leading how opportunities for the organization and also creating threats. It is the same to the organs operate is important factors to determine the competitive strategy. It's said that the firm internal environment is influenced by external environment. The external environment's economic and technical components are viewed as the key variable that create both opportunities and risks for the company. A firm must identify its position relative to the competitors in the market. The objective of a competitive strategy is to generate competitive advantage, increase market share, and beat competition. A company position in the market must be determined. The goal of the competitive strategy is to gain the competitive edge, expand market share, and outperform the competition. Marketing teams use many strategies to help companies increase the number of customer purchases. One way marketers achieve this is by distinguish a company's offering from those of its competitors through strategy called competitive positioning. In addition of what I said earlier, competitive positioning is a marketing strategy that refers how a marketing team can differentiate a company from its competitors. The position of the company depends on how the value it provides with goods and service compared to the value of similar goods and service in the market. A marketing team considers many aspects of their company's market, including audience need, current trends, and to make their position more competitive. The next slide is all about element of position strategy. There are a few common elements you may consider when creating your position strategy, including the market for your product, what your audience wants, how your company perform, the value of your product. First, the market for your product. Consider all aspects of the market to determine where your company and product fit. To learn how to increase the success of your company, about whether the market of your product is big or small, what stage of growth the market is in, or how many competitors you have. Next, what your audience wants. Find out the specific needs of your target audience through analytic and social media to learn how to better market to those needs and success against competition. Use this knowledge to improve your product and marketing campaigns with unique angles, additional features, and specialized content. Next, how your company perform. Your company performs can affect the success of your marketing campaigns. So consider evaluating your company's performance using the method like SWOT analysis. Analyzing SWOT, which stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, help you to determine the potential of the company within the market. And last, the value of your product. Determine how much value of your product has for a customer by examining the price point and the benefits of the product. If your product price points matches the capabilities of the product, then you may have the higher competitive positions than competitors who charge more less beneficial products. The next lesson is about 3 ways to create competitive value. There are 3 primary ways to create competitive value for your product. Each of them focus on specific aspect of the customer interest to appeal to their audience and increase sales. First, operational excellence. When you use operational excellence to add competitive value to your company, it means you market how your company provides a high volume of products at low cost while maintaining the satisfactory quality. To achieve this, Your company's management may focus on manufacturing more efficiently to produce a lot of goods they can sell quickly. Often, this means that products are necessary items that rarely require changes of their design. For example, like brushes and silverwares. Second, product leadership. Using product leadership to distinguish your companies from competitors means marketing the uniqueness and quality of your products to improve your company's reputations and encourage purchases. This can involve conducting market research to determine where your company can fill gaps left by the competition, while management may study ways to improve product and add additional features to appeal more potential customer. Product leadership is usually best used in markets where products have specific upgrades features to compare, like cell phones and laptop. Like in iPhones, every year they switch or swap different designs. Last is all about customer relationship. Your company can benefit from a good relationships with customer when creating a competitive value because loyal customer may be more willing to purchase new product, recommends product to the friends, and increase product visibility on social media. Marketing with customers relationships includes being active and personable on social media and listing customers' feedbacks to enhance your offerings. This method is especially useful for marketing's online store and very nice products that allow your team to connect with customers who have a special interest. Okay, next slide. Next slide is all about the tips to developing competitive positioning strategy. Examine the following tips to help you determine or to help you to develop a competitive positioning strategy to increase sales for your company. First is create list of goals. Determine your goals can help you to understand how to best implement strategy for your company. It is good idea to have meetings with your company. This slide is all about tips to developing a competitive positioning strategy. Examine the following tips to help you develop a competitive positioning strategy to increase sales of your company. First, create a list of goals. Determine your goals can help you understand how to best implement a strategy for your company. It's a good idea to have meetings with your marketing team and management to decide a short and long-term goals of your company's competitive positioning. Next, be an expert in your market. Understand your market and the role of your company. Your team and your audience in that market can help you strategize and find an ideal competitive position. Research current trends, know who your competitors are, and notice new products to find out what's selling well and what customers still wants from the item being offered. Next, analyze your competitors. When you analyze your company's competition, you can recognize area for your company to improve and anticipate changes in your competitors' market strategy. This can help you to keep your company relevant to its customers' base and create innovations. Distinctive marketing campaigns. Next, understand your price versus benefits. Consider examining the cost and benefits of your competitor's product to determine if they provide the value to the customer. With this information, you can chart the product value of your own company and determine whether your company can adjust its product or price to offer more value than others. And last, make a timeline. If your marketing team has a campaign deadline or list of goals, consider making a timeline to help you stay on schedule and compare your progress to your competitors. This helps you to determine your competitive positions and give you a visual reference for completing the task and that help your companies go. companies that successfully implement one of the generic business strategies, differentiation and cost leadership, are more likely to attain competitive advantage. There are possible ways to differentiate a business: to become a cost leader, meaning that you become the lowest cost producer in the industry, and to become a differentiation leader, meaning that you compete in the areas other than price value by customer, both in narrow and broad scope of business activities. In addition, cost leadership is about achieving scales economics and utilizing them to produce high volume at low cost. Differentiation is creating a unique service or product offering, either through a good branding and strong internal skill. Generic business strategy that seek to create same or similar value by delivering products and services at lower cost than competitors. In other words, it focuses on reducing the cost at which it is able to offer a product or service at acceptable value. It is more on cost, focused on cost and not on value. Cost leaders attempt to optimize all value chain activities to achieve a low cost position. In other words, it focuses on reducing the cost at which is able to offer a product or service an acceptable value. Cost leader attempt to optimize all value chain activities to achieve a low cost position. While differentiation strategy is built on belief that one needs clear and unique positioning, differentiation leadership focus on providing perks to add value for customer, while higher prices are sort of make up for their higher costs. In other words, it seeks to create higher value for your customers than value that competitors create, by delivering products or services with unique features while keeping the firm cost structures at the same or similar levels. To do so, companies seek to reach the so-called productivity frontier, which is the value-cost relationship that captures the result of the performing best practices at any given time. The productivity frontier. The productivity frontier represents a set of best-in-class strategic positions the firm can take relating to the value creation and low cost at a given point in time. Productivity frontier relationship that captures the result of the performance best practices at any given time. The function of is concave to capture the trade-off between the value creations of the production cost. The productivity frontier is representing the sum of all existing best practices at any given time, or the maximum value that a company can create at a given cost using the best value technology, using the best available technology, skills, management, techniques, and purchases inputs. If a company's products are at or near the productivity frontier, then further operational efficiency are hard to come. In this case, it pays to adopt a strategic design, responsible products to capture additional market share, revenues, and profits. Firm business strategy. A firm business strategy determines which strategic position is aspire to along the productivity frontier. This slide is all about key points or the conclusion. Dynamics of the competitive position. Reaching the productivity frontier enhances the likelihood of obtaining a competitive advantage. Reaching the productivity frontier at a given point in time increases the likelihood of achieving a competitive advantage. Getting the productivity frontier increases your chances of gaining a competitive advantage. Not reaching the productivity frontier implies competitive disadvantage if other firms are not positioned at the productivity frontier. Strategic positions need to change over time as the environmental change. As the environments evolve, strategic stances must shift as well. Strategic positions are not fixed but can and need to change as the environment changes. It is critical for manager. Therefore, you need to understand the dynamic competitive positioning or how strategies shape the firm positions over a time. Next slide is all about implication for strategists. Strategic positioning is critical to gain competitive advantage. Well-formulated and implemented generic business strategies enhance the firm chances of obtaining superior performance. A firm develop a strategic position in response to the factor represent in its competitive environment. Gaining a competitive advantage requires strategic positioning. Generic business strategies that are well planned and implemented improve the firm's chances of achieving excellence performance. In creation, in reaction to the factor existing in its competitive environment, a company adopts a strategic stances. Strategic positioning requires making important trade-off. The trade-off occurs when activities are incompatible. Simple put, a trade-off means that more of one thing necessitates less of another. An airline can choose to serve meals adding costs, or it chooses not to. But it cannot do both without bearing major efficiency. Trade-offs creates the need for choose and protect against reposition. Trade-offs arise for three reasons. The first is inconsistencies in image or reputation. Second, and more important, trade-offs arise from the activity themselves. Finally, trade-offs arise from limit on internal coordination and control. By clearly choosing to compete in one way and not the another, senior management makes, in contrast, risk confusions of branches as employees attempt to make day-to-day operation decisions without a clear framework. Next slide. Few exceptional firms might be able to reconcile the significant trade-off between increasing value and lowering production costs by pursuing both business strategies simultaneously. These integration strategies tend to be successful only if a firm is able to rely on innovations that allow it to reconcile the trade-off mentioned. Given the dynamic of the competitive positioning, firm cannot stand still but must constantly refine and improve their strategic position over time. The goal is not fall behind the productivity frontier, which is defined by the theoretical possible best practice at any given time. Few exceptional companies may be able to resolve the major trade-off between increasing value and lowering manufacturing costs by effectively pursuing both business strategies. These integration tactics are only likely to succeed if a company can rely on innovations that allow it to reconcile to the previous trade-off. Given the dynamic natures of the competitive positioning, business cannot afford the remaining statics and must constantly modify and improve their strategic posture over time. The goal is to stay ahead of the productive frontier, which is defined as the best practice that is theoretically achievable. Um, this is the end of my report. Thank you.